July started with a bird I've never seen or heard before. There are usually one or two blue grosbeaks spotted each year in the South Metro, but they are typically found much further south. I've always struck out on previous attempts for this bird. These pictures were pretty far away, but I was happy to finally see one. July means the loons are very busy on northern Minnesota lakes. Loons are water birds. Their legs are too far back to move well on land. Like an airplane, they need a long runway to get off the water. Depending on the wind, it can take them a quarter mile of flapping their wings and running on the water to achieve takeoff. Once flying, they can fly up to 70 miles per hour. Biologists estimate that a loon family of 2 parents and 2 chicks can eat up to a half a ton of fish in 15 weeks. These chicks were learning to fish by putting their face in the water, but they weren't diving yet. I was able to capture some pictures of the parents feeding the chicks. The loon has sharp, rearward pointing projections on the roof of its mouth and tongue to help them hang on to slippery fish. Every time I hear this call, it is a warning that the eagle has flown low over the lake. Also feeding his family, this eagle brought home a nice northern that made these watching anglers jealous. Loons are excellent divers. They have solid bones, unlike other birds. They can expel air from their lungs and dive to depths of 250 feet. They can slow their heart rate to stay under for up to 5 minutes. Robins are also busy finding worms for their babies, which are about to fledge. But the rest of this episode is about the bluebird family. Remember the 3 eggs? I peeked in the house, and they had hatched, and were now 3 decent-sized chicks. Were they alive? Yes, and you could already see the white eye rings, so they must be at least 12 days old. Fledging was only a few days away. No more opening the house. Both parents are working constantly to bring food to the chicks. At this point, Mom usually just pokes her head in. She only entered a few times to remove the fecal sacs. The northern harrier and the broad-winged hawk were both hunting in this field. While their prey is bigger, they couldn't be as successful as the bluebirds. You can hardly get a picture of the bluebirds without a grasshopper or bug in their mouth. The next day, the babies are now strong enough to cling to the side of the box and peek out. This is the first time I noticed a baby looking out. As you can see from these shots at the entrance, there are still 3 chicks in here. Occasionally, I saw the bluebird catching insects out of the air. They must have been watching flycatchers like the Pee-wee and the Phoebe. The next day, there was lots of peeking out of the house. They were each taking turns. Most likely the chicks were looking to see if the next meal was on its way. The parents start to ration the food and call the babies out on about day 16. The next day we were gone, but when we returned, all 3 chicks were still in the house. The next morning, I noticed a chick even get a foot outside the hole, and suddenly off she flew. I snapped a few pictures through the camper window. Another chick peeked out immediately after the flight, but didn't follow. A few minutes later, the mother returned. She seemed surprised to see one less chick in the house. After a long time of double-checking her math, she finally went in, presumably to give a pep talk. After the mother left, I got some footage of the next chick contemplating flight. I could actually hear the parents calling her out. She was actually the final chick to go. Somehow I'd missed the first one. Usually they fledge sometime in the late morning, starting on day 16. Once they leave, they don't return to the nest. This is the most dangerous time for the chicks, and they must find a safe place where their parents can continue to feed them until they are strong enough to feed themselves. I was impressed to see that the first chick had reached a tree over 100 yards away. It was non-stop wing beats, but this is twice as far as they usually fly on their first flight.
You make me cry. I believe it's time for me to fly. You said we'd work it out. You said that you had no doubt that deep down we were really in love. Oh, but I'm tired of holding on to a feeling I know is gone. I do believe that I've had enough. I've had enough of the falseness of a worn-out relation. Enough of the jealousy and the intoleration. Oh, I make you laugh, and you make me cry. I believe it's time for me to fly. Time for me to fly. Oh, I've got to set myself free. Time for me to fly. Now that's just how it's got to be. I know it hurts to say goodbye, but it's time for me to fly.
Probably about 10 minutes after the pep talk, and after some soul-searching and serious contemplation, like me standing on the edge of a high cliff in the Boundary Waters deciding whether or not to jump, the final chick made its awkward flight to some trees about 100 yards away, and the fledging had commenced.